Are we going to be playing Kahoot? Do we need to get our phones out to interact with you on this?
You can, yes, you will be. Definitely, you will be in a bit. Yep, definitely.
Any other apps we can download while waiting?
Nope, don't need any apps. I do need a few volunteers. If anybody wants to, like 5 volunteers, you want to raise your hand just to do something really fun? I'll pass these out in just a second. Ooh. Who wants to help? You're my 5 students, basically. One. Anybody else? Just follow the directions there. What else? Drew and mine. One more person. Just need a smartphone to follow. Be able to browse the web. All right, well, how's everybody doing today? My name is Chuck Conkle from Rock Valley College, 1:30. We'll get started, that's okay with everybody. I passed out 5 pieces of paper for those 5 students to help volunteer. Today we're gonna talk about mobile apps, 3 mobile apps. I actually have a bonus one we're gonna throw in, but 3 mobile apps that you can use in the classroom and that are dynamic in nature. And so I teach app development at Rock Valley there for years, and one of the apps we'll be using today actually is a check-in app where students can come in and check in with a QR code that's created with the app. And second app we'll be looking at is Explain Everything. And then the third app is Kahoot, which is the polling app that some of you might have used before. And then we have a bonus one that I will keep secret until the end. Really, if we have enough time. So either way. Well, thanks for coming today. We'll go and get started. That's okay. First of all, how many uses mobile apps currently in your class or you've tried? You've tried, okay. What are some of the apps you've used? Anybody? What was it? Socrative, that's a good one. The polling app, what else? Kahoot, Kahoot, yeah. What was it now? Yeah, good one. These are all great apps. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, you know, being a technology teacher. We like to use technology, but I believe I try to teach faculty on campus. One of my jobs is also to train them how to use technology. And so we'll have a lot of fun today, hopefully. It'll go by very quickly, I know. I have a Southern accent, but it's a fast one because I was born in New York, and so all my family members talk really fast on my New York side, but on the Southern side, it's, the Southern slang. So this is being recorded, by the way, so I'm going to try to, I'm doing it on both machines here. And so I'll show you at the end where you can go to find the link to everything, so you don't need to feverishly write everything down. And so this Prezi that you're looking at is going to be available. It's going to be a Facebook group. I'll show you in a second at the end. And so you don't need to feverishly write things down. Just try to relax and enjoy. Sound good?
Good.
Okay. So maybe we've been like this before. I know I was at one point in my career as a teacher. You had the mean look, no cell phones, no mobile devices. Anybody else try that, by the way? Okay. And so we've all been there, but 95% of all Americans, including our students, have a smartphone. So I believe, why not utilize them? Why not utilize what they already have in their pocket to betterment of our class, betterment of their learning? So checking in, and we'll do in a bit, quizzes, polls, surveys, group activities. Utilize those cell phones so much they have no time to text, no time to check their Facebook, no time to check Twitter. That's my philosophy. I use it all the time. From start to finish, they're doing something on their devices. And so, again, they're going to sneak around anyway if you don't. And so we've all tried that. So if you haven't, they duped you because they're doing it. They're doing it. So my attendance is the first app. I passed out 5 pieces of paper for folks to get a QR code on your phone. And so here in just a second, I'm going to have you actually walk up to my tablet here and show you how to use it. But first of all, my app, or my attendance app, is actually on the App Store, and it's just 99 cents. I try to make it really cheap. It's been in development for about 3 years. A number of faculty have helped me test it and use it. We used it in our faculty development day with as much as 600 people in it, to classes as small as 5 people. And so basically all it is, as it sees in the picture there, is you come up with your phone, tap the green button, and you put the QR code in front of the app, and you're checked in. So we don't have to take class time. And students are used to it in all my classes, and faculty that use it on campus. So within the first minute or two of coming into class, everybody's checked in. I know who's there, who's not there. Done. And they love doing it again because they're using their phones. It's a way for them to utilize their phones and their devices. So in the newest iteration, I created a web app to be able to get the QR code. In the early days, we had them emailed, but some students had issues with that. So we just made a web app where they can type in their email or their first last name and get the QR code. So the check-in process is pretty simple. The iPad station at the front of the room, and the students come in and pull the phones out, tap on a green button, and they're able to check in. Reports that can be used in this is on the date of the class. You can email the report, or selected date, or all dates that you've had thus far. And it pushes to your email a CSV file that can be opened up in Excel, and you can do whatever you want to with it. So here's what the admin screen looks like. You do have to have Dropbox, which most students have or faculty have already. It doesn't cost anything to get that. The other requirement is uploading your roster, which we've tried to make it real simple. It's just email, comma, last name, comma, first name. And most of you probably already have a tool from IT that exports a roster already for you that you can just modify a little bit to upload it. You upload it to a certain directory that the app shows you how to do. In this case, it's a My Attendance directory in Dropbox. Because when you install the app, it installs that directory for you. It's all ready to go. Then retrieve the QR code of the web app. myattendance.today is the domain that we purchased for this. And then checking in. Here's an actual, what the phones look like from those 5 people in here that volunteered. This is what it looks like when they get the My Attendance. They can get the QR code. They can save it on their phone, whatever they want to do. Demo time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and have those 5 people that I pre-selected before starting. If you could come on up, I will start the attendance app. I'll start it just like I would. I wanted to start it just like I would in class. So as you can see, I'm selecting league. That's our class for today. Going to check in, and let's go ahead and tap the green button. There you go. There is student 1. Going to come on up one by one there.
I'm remedial. I think I put it in, but it didn't. I put Kim.
You want student.1 or what's on your paper?
It says
Student.2.
Oh, okay. That's what I misunderstood.
That's all right. I'll do it for you.
I didn't get
I can
the
help
dot
out.
part. Gotcha.
I ran into the same. I tried to do that previous on tape.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Student.2. There you go. And then tap the green button first. There you go. Do you need help on yours?
Yeah,
So now I
from
see
there, I
me.
type student.3 and hit submit, and it just took me back to that screen.
So they're successful.
All right. Successful. Come on up. And if you didn't get it, it's no big deal. I help students all the time the first time, so it's no problem. Oh, that's you. You're good. You're good. Go ahead and put your phone in front of it.
Am I in?
Yeah, you are in. I'm gonna have you do student.1 again. For whatever reason,
It doesn't like student.3.
doesn't like student.3. I did it right before you, so it's not bad probably.
Here, everybody else is.
Everybody but you, all right?
Yeah,
I picked on you. There you're gonna be student.1. There you go. All right, you're good to go. Student.1. And back it up a little bit. All right. Now, thank you. Let's give you guys a hand to help. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So one of the cool things you'll see here on the check-in report I'll show you is immediately it shows who's checked in at what time and date. Now, granted, I just created these right before the session. And that first session, sometimes I do have to help students, just like I did right now. But you have to do it as a teacher anyway, and the new process they might have to go through. There are some students that don't have phones. I print them out for them. And then in the classroom, they can put it in their wallet and bring it from each sequence session if they want to. Most students save it onto their camera roll, though, and then from that point on, they can then capture it. As far as the email, I'll show you here. I've got my email at the bottom, and I can send the report. For time's sake, I won't do that, but it would come to my inbox as a CSV file. Yes. Yeah, this version does not. We're working on a version that does calculate tardies, and it's just going to be a query change. It's going to be a new button in there, actually. It's not been released in beta stage right now. That'll be tardies only. We can capture tardies only if we want to. We're thinking about just putting it, though, in a separate tab for tardies, and one for active and one that showed up, one that's tardy. Yes?
So if I have a program, so if I had all my faculty use this in our program, the students, would they have a different QXR for each?
Yeah, the QR code, basically, if you're familiar with QR codes, the QR code to generate it, it's their email. So if you were to scan the QR code today of everybody's QR code that was used, it would be the email that I created for them. So say their email.
They use the same one in all their courses?
Yes, they could use it in all their courses, right. And so students that I've had in the past, they can use it in any one of my classes. And so that's a nice feature as well. Yeah.
In the CSV file, this goes back to the target, is the timestamp in that?
Yeah, everything's in there. As you see it here, is in there. Yeah, it separates by column. The first is date, and then timestamp, then name, and then email, I believe, something like that. So, and group name, which is a faculty, or we call it group name because we have a lot of folks in meetings that use it. So we instead of class name, we call it group name. And then the admin screen, that's where you go in and it tells you how to create that roster, how to upload it. Pretty simple. A roster of about 25, 30 students, 40 students takes about 4 to 5 minutes to generate the QR code, then you're done. And then that's all you have to do. And then what I do is send my students an email with the myattendance.today, that first announcement email before class starts. And they're already ready. I'd say 90% of them already have the image on their phone before they come into class. There's always that 5% that I have to help out, but that's with any new process. And so, but we've been developing, it's been in development for about 2.5, 3 years now. And one of the hurdles we had a while back was Dropbox changed their development platform. And so we had to recode a lot of stuff, but we got it figured out and updated. And it's just been updated about 8 to 10 days ago, actually, the code base has.
Does it make any difference for Android or
No, it doesn't matter. No, because they use a web app to get the QR code. So we thought about that too. That's why we made it a web app. That way anybody can access the QR code. Yes.
Checking how is it being used outside of the classroom, using it for other staff or employees?
Yeah, we use it for our faculty development for spring and fall, and each one is about 500 to 600 employees that we use it for. And what I do on that one is I get a roster from human resources. They already know what format I need, and then I just upload it to Dropbox. So I really don't have to do much on my end. And then we have about 12 iPads that we deploy on the 2 doors of people coming in. We even have people with phones, just like I'll have my phone out to help people that don't bring their QR code. And it has sped up the process quite a bit. I think they tallied the first 2 times. It was taking about 45 minutes to an hour to check everybody in from start to finish. And with this new process, it takes about 20 minutes.
So it's becoming like the cultural norm now. in
Yeah,
campus.
exactly. And it's just because, you know, it's a grassroots type thing. They knew I was using a classroom and they just kind of spread from there. And so, yeah, I mean, there's I believe tons of more things could be done with it. And so, anyway, love your feedback and email. You'll have my email at the end. You can use it, get feedback.
You have a sign out option also.
It doesn't have a sign out option. And so it just has sign in only. That's all of it. But that would be a cool option to have probably. Now, one of the options we did add in here on the check-in side for when we do the group stuff, I can click on this auto check-in. What happens is every time people check in, instead of having to tap the green button, the next person just comes and shows their phone in front of it and it auto checks them in. So that speeds it up as well.
What's the maximum number?
I've had, there's no limit. The highest we've had is 1,200 in an event. And so, but there's no maximum in the application or in the database. It's a small text file. So on Dropbox, I think the one we use ends up being like about 5 kilobytes in size or something. Yeah.
Could a device besides the iPad be used for check-in? Could you do-
No, it's iPad only right now. It's not Android. And a lot of the bells and,
Or-
yeah, it's iPad only right now. There is talks of doing Android. Android's getting better. The problem with Android is, and I teach app development, is there's 275 different versions of Android and one version of iOS. And 90% of iOS users have their phones upgraded and iPads upgraded within the first 90 days. And so, but we're looking at one, but it's going to probably be a while, I'm thinking. My hope is one day Google takes over all the Android stuff and just one platform, but that's my hope. Yeah.
You said it was 99 cents.
99 cents, yes.
Have you had any pushback on that from like students or anything?
No, students don't pay for it. And none of the faculty do either. And if you want to, yeah, and I haven't mentioned it yet, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag because I have a hard time like my son keeping secrets. But everybody here, if you email me, I'll give you a link. You can download it at no cost. So for all the faculty, I don't charge anything for faculty to use it. So, but anyway, no, students don't have to pay anything.
So who does pay for it? Who is
Who is paying
paying for it?
for?
Yeah,
Oh, right now I've got a couple K through 12
Okay.
down south that use it in all their schools.
Is it one download for the entire school? How's that work?
No, it's not. It's separate, but you know, for one school still, it was only like 100 iPads or something they needed. So I'm not trying to I don't make a lot of money off of it. So,
Per iPad.
per iPad, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, per iPad.
Is industry?
Do I know?
The industry?
Industry, we've used it in some local businesses for community events. They've used it in some community events. Like we have a thing in Rockford called Transform Rockford that's used for some community events. And so it's worked pretty well. But anyway, this is a great feedback. We have more to do. But thank you again for the volunteers that have helped with this part of the presentation. It's a great app. I don't know what can even be better though. And so I look forward at the end of this session. When you get my email, you can shoot me an email and I'll reply back with a link where you can download it, start testing it on your own side and giving me feedback and making the app even better is what I believe. Okay, iOS only right now, but new versions coming up in the future. Next, Kahoot. How many's done Kahoot? 2 or 3 of you done Kahoot? All right, cool. Yeah. So we're going to do a fun Kahoot right now. Kahoot I use every class period to do beginning quiz on the prior reading the chapter the students should have done, which have a hard time evaluating that sometimes. And Kahoot's a really good way to do it. And Kahoot allows you to do a quiz, poll, survey, and a game-like interface, kind of gamifies a poll. So if you'll go to kahoot.it from your phone and wait for the game pin to come up. So kahoot.it, and I will bring it up, switch screens here and bring it up on my iPad. If you've never used it before, you can enter whatever nickname you want. I always tell students your favorite fictional character or your favorite superhero. That might be one. I have some interesting ones that students use, but again, they have fun with it. So here in just a second, in fact, you can, as soon as you go to Kahoot.it, enter that game pin in, you can start entering your nicknames. All you need is your mobile device, your iPad, your tablet, laptop will work even. And it does have some cool music, but I told them I didn't need sound. I'll turn it up as well as I can here. I think it's coming from the from the projector. It's not real loud. Oh, hey, we got Dash, Mark D, Kim, Econ Prop, Mark D, Renown, Wonder Woman, Buck, Ninja, and I'll usually do this as we're bringing them in. Serafina, all right, Serafina, like it. Yeah, Medical Woman, Catwoman, or Medic Man, Catwoman, Gallifrey. Cool ones. I'll give it another moment here. What I usually do is I head count in the room at the class and kind of say, okay, I got 2 more, I got 3 more. I won't put you guys through that. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Okay, give it another moment here. All right. Because one of the cool things is the way I use it for it, I use it as a quiz. And so I'm actually collecting the first session. I get whatever nickname that they use. They let me know what that is. That's anonymous to everybody else, but the class figures out about the second or third time. They usually figure out all the nicknames. All right, is everybody ready? Waiting on anybody? Okay, let's go ahead and begin. So 6 questions only for this one. We have another fun one we're going to do after this one. As of March 2017, there are blank apps in the Apple and Android app stores. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. Just go ahead and tap the correct color button that you think it might be. All right, the answer is 5 million, and majority of you got that correct. And that's both on the iOS and Android platform. It's about half and half. So there's a leaderboard right now. You got Carrie, Gallifrey, Prof, Wonder Woman, and Buck. Blank percent of Americans own a cell phone. And if you were listening earlier, 90, 95, 85, or 80%. Almost 100%. Good job. All right. Leaderboard. Next, blank students polled using technology in ClassRoom would prepare them for a digital future. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's 9 out of 10 was the answer. The latest student poll, 9 out of 10 said that if they use technology in the classroom, they feel like it would better prepare them for the digital future. Leaderboard. Next, results show that technology indeed helps students remember what they learn. Yes or no, or true or false? True or false? Very true. All right. Schools want to deploy mobile devices, but their network backbone is not capable of handling, or their internet's not fast enough. Put it another way. True or false? Yeah, majority of our colleges have internet yet to be desired, right? And so again, by bringing mobile devices in the classroom, the students using their own cell phone connection generally, if you have slow internet, I just tell them not to even use the internet at times. They just use the cell phone because it's not using a lot of bandwidth on their devices anyway. Great. 4 places, Catman or Catwoman there. What river is outside this resort? Spelled wrong. Hudson, Potomac, and Washington. Don't ding me, I'm a computer teacher. The students get a lot of fun out of it. All right. That's the results. Now we're going to do one more fun one. We got to do one more. This one I love doing. It's this or that. And you might have played one of these before online or in a party or something. And basically, this one, you just say this or that. It gives you 2 pictures, and you just say this or that. So go ahead and put your, it could be the store nickname or a new one. You'll have to exit out of that and refresh it and put that pin in browser, and it's 1641157.
Does this keep track of what the students get on the quiz?
It does, yeah. It kicks it to an Excel sheet
Okay.
and export it, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, it definitely can do that. Yeah, it's nice to be able to do. And they just added a new feature too called Challenge, where we can actually send this to a student and they don't have to be in a classroom and they can do it at home or online. That's why I do with my online students.
And this is free too?
Totally free, yes. Yep, totally free. And I do encourage my students to use it in their workplace too, which a lot of them have. It helps in meetings or anything, I believe. So, are we ready? Wait on anyone? All right, let's go begin. 10 questions, this or that. You'll see 2 pictures, this or that. You'll get it. Dog or cats? You only have 20 seconds. 15. We're all dog people in here, including myself. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. Interesting. Netflix or YouTube? Remember the big TVs like that? Anybody remember that? Maybe still have one in the garage. So majority Netflix, some YouTube, makes sense. Phone call or text message? Phone call or text message? I pretty much guess what this one's gonna be. If you have kids, which most of you do, they prefer one, you prefer another. All right? Wow, I'm shocked. The last time I did this, it was phone calls to the roof, text message. No, people taking text messages. You get done a phone call in a minute when you get done 10 hours of text message. Toast or eggs? This or that, toast or eggs? Ooh, eggs went out. Eggs went out. Yeah. Cardio or weights? You got Dwayne Rock Johnson. You got to do weights. There you go. Good. Facebook or Twitter? Somebody's pushing all the way to the end. Time's up. All right. Facebook. I guess some people disdain from voting. Yes. That's all right. You can do that. Not doing it. Ice cream or snow cone? Ice cream or snow cone? All right. Ice cream wins out. 2 more left. And I'll show you the report feature here on this. Cake or pie? Ooh, even it almost did. Wow. Pretty good. Which do you like doing the least? Which do you like doing the least of these 2? Laundry or dishes? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Dishes at least like. Hamburger or taco? Taco wins out. Oh, there you go. Taco Tuesday coming up. All right, so let me show you the results here. I'll save the results on this one, and I can download this, save it to like a shared drive, network drive. Usually save it to Dropbox or wherever you have it set up at. Taking forever to load. While that's loading, let me see if I can go back and show you here. Let me go back to one I did recently. One of my C++ class, they did a quiz here. And, sorry. Let's go to my results. So here, I'll just that. I can go to each one of these, and then I can download, share link, play it again. The save button will go to Google Drive is where I have it going to. So anyway, it's just an Excel format of all the scores is all it is. Nothing real fancy there. So that's Kahoot. I do recommend it. And the way I use it basically in the classroom is I use it for beginning quizzes every week for the reading they're supposed to have done. New conversation or topic, I do a Kahoot as a survey, kind of like we did with this or that, to determine what they know already and tweak my kind of assignments or my topics because of their knowledge base that they have already. Free to sign up, Kahoot.com. Doesn't cost anything. I do recommend, if nothing else, trying out the quiz, like 5 questions. I tell faculty, try out 5-question quiz, real easy to set up, and just go over some high topics of the reading, and students will enjoy it. And what I found out is students actually do the reading because they know it's only 10 points they get, but it's 10 points. It adds up over 16 weeks. And so, yes.
Question, do you have the opportunity to have a slide in there that shows them the correct answer, or you have to tell them verbally?
It shows up on the screen on the quiz what the correct one is immediately. Yep, it's immediate results. Yeah.
And another fun way, if you're not, doing points on this,
Sure.
is to give people, Bill's communicating in the classroom.
Yeah.
Have people work together.
Yeah, I've done that before because some of my students might have a cell phone or I have a couple of classes where I have some handicapped students.
Right.
And so I'm glad you brought that up. I actually do a lot of them as groups of 2 or 3 students, and then the 3 can text or can answer for the group basically. And that's kind of a fun one as well.
Yeah.
It is. And it kind of does build community, especially those classes that we like meet once a week. And so, but I totally encourage you to try it out. Again, it's like if you don't like it, at least you tried it once. But I believe you will like it. Yeah.
We talk about the legitimacy of like nicknames. Obviously, the students are using their actual names, so they get credit.
Yes,
right?
correct.
The second part is how are you using with online students? Do they have to be same time, same place then?
No, I do the challenge with those. And
Okay.
see, Kahoot changed it to where now you can do the quiz and then save it as a challenge. When you save it as a challenge, it goes to their email, and then they click on it, it goes to their phone or their tablet, and they play it that way. And then I get results from that as well.
You can still provide points then.
Yep,
because they
exactly.
put it in.
And they're automatically graded.
So save it as a challenge.
Save it as a challenge, yeah. And the challenge is what I recommend for all if you teach online class. I even do some face-to-face as well. If we don't have time to cover something in class, I'll do a lot of challenges through the week in between the one a week sessions I have with programming students. And they really do enjoy it, and they learn a lot. They do learn a lot from it, I believe. I've seen test scores increase after using Kahoot.
So do you set a deadline?
Yeah. On a Kahoot challenge, you can set a deadline for sure. I definitely do that. Yeah, just like you would on any assignment. And so it's in the email. It tells them when it's going to die. Basically, is the term I use. The quiz is going to die at that
The
point.
challenge goes to email, the email goes to their phone.
Yeah, correct. Well, and once they've installed Kahoot on their phone, which they can do on Android or iOS, by the way, on this one, they click on the link, it loads it on their phone, then they play it. The other way is, the way I've done it is I've just added students to a challenge because you have to attach a student's email to a challenge. And once they open their app up, from that point on, any new challenge shows up for them automatically. Yep.
That sounds like a better option.
And it'll alert them too as a notification that something's available. Because sometimes they'll forget in the schedule or something, but they'll remember on a notification.
So it doesn't alert deadlines.
Yeah, it does. When they open it up, it tells them when it's going to end. They have until this date and time to finish the challenge. Yep.
So how do you address, again, those online students that don't have cell phones?
Well, they all have either computer or laptop or desktop. It works on any of those devices.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of Kahoot. It'll work on any device that's internet enabled. Good question, though. Yeah. Mhm.
Easily can you import existing quizzes, test banks?
Yeah, you can share too. I have faculty that share one to another Kahoots. Or if you teach like say biology, you can find tons of Kahoots out there already on college level biology that you might not have to create from scratch. You can just, use them in the community of Kahoot users.
Like these work from other
Yep.
formats as well, like Canada.
Oh, no, it's Kahoot to Kahoot. It's Kahoot to Kahoot. So the first time you create it, it's from scratch using the Kahoot system. But then after that, you can share. And then I would recommend using the search of the community to see if something's already out there. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but you can, maybe not just create it all from scratch. It's a good point. Yes?
When I use Kahoot, it's text, limit of text characters, it's still like that.
Yeah.
Since I teach English, so it's hard for me to like full length sentences.
Yeah, it is.
I don't use it as much as I would like.
Right. Yeah, and what I've seen faculty do too is in the image, because Kahoot allows you to, when you create a Kahoot, you can add an image to the Kahoot. So you can put your words in an image and then save it as an image, like in Photoshop, or the one I use is I teach photography, and many of you probably I can't afford full version of Photoshop, but Pixlr.com it's Pixlr.com. I don't have that on my session, but it's a free tool to create and edit photos, but it has a text button in there as well. You can add your text in that way. I've had math teachers do that. Pixlr.com. And I have math teachers do that with equations. They put it in a picture and then put on Kahoot. And then in the question, they just say, what's the answer or something like that. And then they have the 4 choices or whatever, how many choices they want. But yeah, and that's a way around it. I like finding ways around it like that. So yeah. Uh-huh.
And I know when I was test driving some of these things, I got our people from our Disabilities Resource Center involved in
Yes.
looking at this, and they really liked Kahoot
Oh, yeah.
because of the colors. And
Yep. If you get a librarian at your school to really like it, they can do a lot of work. A lot of Kahoots, man. Like they can kick a lot of Kahoots out, and just we had somebody dedicated just creating Kahoots, all day long for a while till we got a good repository. It was student worker, right? It was a student worker, so it was good. It was a good resource for them, and they were very intelligent already, and they were being used as a proctor in some of the classes and a tutor. So we just had to do that for a while. And they did a really good job. Really, we lost that student, so I wish we had him back. So anyway, but anyway, Kahoot's totally free, recommend it. And a number of you I know that have used it, are shaking your head, yeah, definitely need to try it. So why do I use Kahoot? Again, at the beginning of the class, icebreaker, polls, challenges, and it's a great tool. And by the way, Kahoot was stemmed in teacher creation. It was a teacher idea and a teacher-based company of programmers that are teachers that created Kahoot and still updates it all the time. They update this probably more than any other app I've ever used. It's constantly being updated and modified, and they will take your feedback as well. I've given them some feedback over the years, and they have made modifications and changes if they have enough of the same type of feedback. So I would recommend doing that as well. Like the import feature is a good option you could tell them about importing from a text file or whatever, or an Excel document. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Explain everything. Anybody used this one before? Okay, explain everything I use all the time. Not as much this semester as I did last semester, and I'll tell you why at the end, but explain everything is a very good tool to bring into an iPad app. I'll show you in a second. PowerPoints, PDFs, videos, photos, web images, and then you can record over that with movement, and then it exports it. So it's basically like a digital whiteboard on the iPad. It's iPad only. And you can basically create it prior to class. And then when the class starts, you can do a lot of really cool things with it. And it exports to all the popular formats as a movie file. You can export to YouTube. You can export to Dropbox. And I'll actually show you a live demo here in a second. The way I use it, I import existing PowerPoints or PDFs. I usually do PDFs if I don't have any animation in my PowerPoints, which most of us don't anyway, just static text and images. And then add announcement to the first slide. And that's what I use for each session during the recording of that session. Here's a screenshot of my Explain Everything page. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you a demo here real quick. I created one earlier. I'll show you what it looks like from the beginning. So you'll see on the lower left side is the league Explain Everything. And at the bottom middle, you'll also see a record button, a little red button there. I'm gonna tap that. I'm gonna start recording. You'll see the recording starts. And what I've got here is I've actually got a web page that is up here, and I'm gonna have to tap it to get it to wake up. You have to tap it a couple times here. And I'll do the top one there since it's waking up for me. And move this one down. And bring it out. And this is actually a live web page here of innovation. And I'll tap here to wake it up again. And scrolling the web page. And what's cool about it is that you can also, on top of the web page, do annotations. It's recording as you're doing it. You tap away from it. It takes a little bit to learn it, but you tap away from it. And then you can freeze everything and back it up. I'll get rid of the annotations there. It looks like I grouped this one together. I don't know why I did that. I was playing with it earlier. The hand at the top there is a there we go. And so this is a Facebook page. Now we'll try to ungroup that. Go back to that. There we go. And so then you can go to the next slide. And next slide, I have a video that you can annotate over the video as a video. I don't have any sound on this on purpose, but you can annotate over the video, which I do sometimes when I'm doing lectures on videos that we're watching. I can highlight and annotate in real time on the iPad. You can't do that on any other device as easy as you can using Explain Everything. And you can even change the annotations to different colors, and it's annotating as you're going on the fly, just like you would on a whiteboard or on a smart board or something like that. You'll notice when I go to the next slide, it keeps recording. It doesn't stop recording. It's recording my voice and also the movement. Now, this is kind of cool too. I use a lot of images in my photography class. And so what I'll do is I'll get these images ready prior to class and then bring up an image, and we'll view images. And again, students like it because you can, I can take these and make these as large or small. We can zoom in pixels of images or whatever. And again, if you're just pinching and moving the image. This is one I took last night, actually. I like out of all the pictures I took last night. This one right here, that one. And then also there was a sunset one. Actually, this one right here. I won't show all of them. There we go. Isn't that cool? And so again, it's real fluid. This is very fluid and really easy to move, really easy to grow. And then saving and exporting. I'll go ahead and stop it. Hit the red button again. I'm gonna go back to the very beginning of and hit play. You're not gonna hear it real well because the sound's not that great, but you can actually see the movement in just a second when I start moving stuff around. There it is. So it's literally record. We could watch the whole thing, but I won't do that. And then at the end, I can share it and export it as a video, go right to my camera roll, which I do a lot of times. And then I'll export it and put it in the Dropbox folder and give it to my students as a video. An hour video on this will only take about 10 minutes to export. And then I can export it to my course conference and they can use it. And I use it a lot for coding and blowing up images and things of that nature. Math teachers use a lot. They take a picture of the whiteboard of their big math equation, put it in a whole bunch of, they'll put a whole bunch of equations, kind of like I did here with these pictures, but instead of being a picture, it'll be a big equation. And what they can do is they can blow up that equation really large and then start going across like they would on a whiteboard, but they can really isolate a part of the equation. And biology teachers use it as well for that. So any subject really you can probably use it for. You have ways to use it anyway. Explain everything. $4.99 is one. There's a whole bunch of different packages, and what I recommend is the individual $4.99. It does have a low learning curve to use, and as you can see on mine, these are most recent one I did here was 58 minutes and 44 seconds, and this was my PHP or PCT class on network security. And then I brought in some that I did last semester, my network security class, screenshot of our front page of our website. And I go through with here's what's going on this week, yada, yada, announcements. But it literally, once you get used to it, it only takes about importing the announcements and the PDF about a minute or two to create for the most part. I don't usually do the separate slides like I showed you of the different things. I just kind of showed you ways it can be used. But Explain Everything has been a lot of iterations. They just updated about 5 days ago, and it's a brand new called Explain Everything Notes now, or Explain Everything Whiteboard or something like that is the name of it. But I do have a link I'll give you at the end here where to find all these apps. But again, really nice app, really well updated. I believe updated quite often. And I would recommend it. And I think majority of you have never heard it before or used it. So I would recommend using it, trying it out. And what I tell faculty to do is use Explain Everything only for announcements for the first semester. That's what I did when I first started out. I just used it for announcements only to get used to using it. And then I went from there to every class period I started using it because I screencast every one of my sessions. I have for years. And so I use this now to do that. And then students can get, within the hour, it's actually in their inbox for them to watch again, especially for students. I know it's helpful for students that have learning disabilities and need extra help. This does help them, especially my programming. Lines of code is really boring sometimes, well, all the time. But I make it a little bit exciting in the video because I bring in jokes and stuff and do a little song and dances and stuff sometimes. And then students laugh, and so it kind of keeps them interested. And so Explain Everything, definitely well worth it. And I know I'm cutting short on time here, so I'll try to rush through. I want to get to the extra. So let me get to that. $4.99, March 10th. It's called Explain Everything Whiteboards, what it's called now. Probably better adding the whiteboard is probably a good idea. Already showed you the demo of that. Okay, bonus. This is what I've been doing last semester, more than Explain Everything in most of my classes. And one of the reasons is I have one new course I'm teaching this semester on Android development. And so I'm using my Mac a lot for that. I'm not having to use my iPad a lot for that class. And so because it's coding, in-depth coding. And so I'm still using Explain Everything on half my class, and half is I'm using YouTube live events. Anybody heard of that before? YouTube live events. It's totally free to set up. You go to youtube.com, my live events, and don't worry about writing it down. I'll have a link for you here in just a second. Once you set it up, it takes about 24 hours to get verified, and it's totally free again. I do screencasts with it of all my coding classes. You can also do a video. I have faculty just do a video feed. And what's cool about it is I've had students that have been off this semester for jobs and for illness, and they've actually watched it live during the session because it creates a link. And when you start it in your classroom, like I scheduled today, it started at 1:30 today, and I'm recording everything that we're talking about here on YouTube Live. And what's cool about it, when you create the event, it gives you a URL that you can already put in your class before the event even starts of that YouTube event. And once it's created, again, I just set it up for class. You share the URL. I screencast every class with it now, or my coding classes anyway, my new ones. And then after recording's complete, if you've ever done podcasting before screencasting, the laborious part is at the end doing post-editing. With this, I don't do any post-editing. So when it's done, I literally hit stop record. It's been streaming the whole time. So when I say stop, I'm done. It's over. And the faculty are like, well, you don't get to edit? No. The same students in your classroom that heard whatever flub up you did are going to know it anyway, so why redo it again? It's a waste of your time. And so, a waste of my time, I know. And so I just let it go all through, and they students know how to get it immediately. In fact, they can get this one immediately when they leave the door. It's ready because it's already been streaming the whole time during the session. And so if I have a 3-hour coding class, as soon as they walk out, they can rewatch that thing immediately, right? Again, if they want to. Yes.
How are you sharing it with your students?
I'm sharing it via our course page. I update it on our course page with just a link, and I call it podcast each week. I just call it podcast. I hyperlink it to the one that YouTube Live gives you. And what's nice about YouTube Live, again, I schedule all my YouTube Live events on Sunday for the entire week. It takes about 5 minutes to set them up. I just schedule them, name them, and all that good stuff. And then when the class starts, I hit start. When it's over, I hit stop, done. It's over. I don't have to worry about it. Yes.
You roll over your podcasts to the next semester, so you don't have to read them.
What I do on my classes is, especially because we use Canvas, which we just copy our course each semester. But then what I do is I leave the old one in there until I replace it with a new one. So students can look ahead at podcasts I've had last semester, especially in my programming classes. And there's not going to be much changes usually, date changes, things of that nature. I just tell them on the front end, if you see a video that's last semester, just disregard dates. The content's going to be pretty much the same. So, yeah, so I just leave it in there. And it works really well.
It's like a one-time creation, and you can repurpose it several
One time?
times.
Yeah, exactly, right. This is what the screen looks like when you're setting up a class. It's really simple. You just title it, date and time it. I have online set to public. You could do private if you wanted to. On the private one, I wouldn't recommend just because they have to have a password to get in. But on the public, basically I just have them all out there for everybody to see anyway. And that's it. That's all you got to do.
Unlisted.
You want to know?
There's also unlisted.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily public. It's also
Yeah, it's unlisted, public unlisted. If you do private, it's going to be, again, they have to password. You have to give them a password, which I don't do in my classes.
Do you make most of yours public? I'm sorry.
You want to?
Do you make most of yours
I
public?
make all of mine public
So everybody in the world seeing them. If they want to reuse them, they can.
because I have a YouTube channel that has all my stuff on it anyway.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't care. But some faculty do, but I don't.
Privacy thing.
Right, exactly. And so super easy to set up, super easy to use. That was a bonus, by the way. Was it worth keeping the next 5 minutes? Okay. All right, cool. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And oh, by the way, I got your contact information. I'm sorry about that. Sorry to interrupt your class. But I have a Facebook group. I put everything in there. I have in the Facebook group the Prezi that you watched today, all the links to the apps. And you can make comments in there. And I'll do more uploads in there as well after today. Anything I can do to help you, I'd love to help you. Do what now? Oh, I had 1 hour. Is it 2:30?
So just if you had other things.
Oh, until 2:30. We had 10 more minutes. Awesome. Yay. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's go back. I want to go back to, thank you for bringing that up. I don't know why I said what I thought 115 for. I thought 115. Yeah, I know I did. All right, let me show you this while we got time, man. Let me show you on the YouTube event. And this is the easiest way to do it. When you're to find it on your end, it's an ugly URL, by the way, to start with, but that's the way Google is on everything. So what I do, I recommend you go to see it in my memory there. YouTube space my events. If you go there, it's the first event or second link on mine. First one's an ad. It's the first real link. Takes you there. And I'm on my iPad. You can even set them. I set them up all the time on the iPad. And I'm on a different account here, but I can at least show you how it works. It doesn't matter screens wise. So I can just go in here and I can label it whatever. And a lot of times faculty forget, and it's automatically updated for today and now. If they forget, they do it right when the class starts, because it only takes a minute to type in the title. That's all you're doing. And description, what I generally do is I'll do the week whatever. We'll just say week 10, and I'll do an acronym for the spring, fall, because it's the same each semester. Down here at the bottom, that's one you might do. If I can go there real quick. Oh. Shouldn't have hit want you to see that one. Do it again. We got time. Yeah, we got 8 minutes. All right. So down here at the bottom, you want to select unlisted. What that's for is basically they can't search for it on YouTube with unlisted. They can't search for it. Now, I have mine on my channel anyway, so I just make it public. But I do have some faculty that don't want it listed or search for it, and they don't have a playlist or anything on YouTube, and they don't have a channel. And so if you make everything unlisted, it's link only. And I'll show you what it looks like after you create it, where you can grab the actual the links to put in your courses or however it is you put your courses in, wherever your course website is. And let me go to this one here. I'll go to the very bottom. Usually where it puts it at. And there you go. And so this one looks, this is one I just made just now. And if it's dated, it'll actually tell the student 4 hours, 2 hours, a week, whatever. It'll put a timer on there. And that's the picture of my homepage for YouTube. My grandson Jaden over there, by the way. My 41 Chevy, all right. And so the one we just did just now, in fact, I've still got it going here, over here on this side.
Google Hangouts is just where you're.
Yeah, that's for my, you won't need it on your computer, but I would need it on